Hi guys, just back for another video. I know it's been a while. I've just been busy with work and stuff. Um, yeah, I had lots of ideas for videos, but it's one of these things. If I don't get them off my chest, I kind of forget. So I'm gonna kind of make a few short videos, and well, it's supposed to be short, but you never know, with me. But and then I might expand on them. But just some interesting thoughts that I'm just chucking out here. One of them is kind of the flip side with the alien abduction kind of phenomena um, that people describe. Um, Abducted by the fairies or the greys or whatever, disappearing, missing time, being confused, being sent back, having your perhaps having your own energy harvest in the form of fear or something like that, or bliss, or basically kind of being used as a battery, and then kind of uh, you know against your free will. Your free will is violated, and that's the big issue here as well. It got me thinking on Aleister Crowley and people like him who studied demonology and were involved in performing rituals with entities. It's interesting because one of the things that came to mind was Hollywood and the Age of Horus with Crowley. How he basically used a demon to, if I'm correct, to harness the energy force, and then with intention and ritual create this Age of Horus, which is apparently very intertwined and connected with Hollywood, and actors and artists, using kind of that force, streaming, using that energy to give them success, right? Apparently it was a demon in the desert. You probably know its name, if I stand correct, and the demon was summoned. A magic circle of protection was made for Crowley and his accomplice, his companion, and they say that when you summon a demon, you treat it like crap, because it's going to be pissed off and it's going to try and really take advantage of you. And so we got to maybe think of, why is this? Because I'm thinking of the flip side. Isn't that alien abduction for a demon if you are seducing or tricking it or luring it into this reality, and then you're trapping it temporarily, you're milking it of its energy against its free will, and then you're sending it back without its consent. This made me think, why don't we think of that? I've heard it somewhere, is the idea that a lot of demons, they don't want to be here. If you summon them, they're almost lured in and tricked, or certainly when they're captured, they don't obviously want to be captured, and they don't enjoy it, so they're going to be pissed off. So they are going to try and defend themselves, perhaps, or justify or get revenge on you. It's a similar thing maybe with a jinn and the magic ring. The jinn is bound to the ring. I mean, aren't you subjecting these entities against their own will? With the Temple of Solomon, how jinn were used to aid to help build that temple against their free will. It's the same thing. these beings maybe want revenge and want to do the same back. Who did it first? Because we're always talking about these beings are the ones who are manipulating us against their free will, and therefore it's not fair. But perhaps we've been doing it, and it may only take one person to hold one of these beings against their free will, and then you can declare, in their eyes, you've declared war on all of them. They will see humans as hostile, and it's war now, all-out war with the human race. They can never be trusted. Very interesting thought. Another one is, if you're the one that's manipulating the being, then by natural law, you have the right to defend yourself by any means that's reasonable. Maybe the universe can judge what's reasonable, But this got me thinking about the being that Crowley used. If he harnessed its energy to use it to build, to create this Age of Horus, or Crowley and Parson and Hubbard, using the Babylonian workings to help them with their space expedition, the moon landings, etc. Anything like that, they're using these demons against their will, then these demons have the right to answer back and get revenge and defend themselves. And it got me thinking about Hollywood. If one of these demons is involved, if the energy of one of these demons was used for Hollywood to create this kind of parallel reality, this this new waveform reality that people can connect to, can kind of stream into, get into the spirit of it, and then have success. I think the idea, I'm just guessing because I'm no expert in this, but the idea with Crowley is he used this being, harnessed its energy, sent it back, created a shield so that it couldn't interfere. Then he had the energy, and then with his own will and creativity, he created this platform, this new kind of reality. But who's to say, when Crowley passed over, when he physically died, this demon wasn't waiting on the other side to own him, to get revenge on him, but also, as amazing as Crowley was, and Parson and Hubbard, they knew a lot more than, say, the average amateur. They knew about the magic circle. They knew about you have to protect yourself. They knew about precautions, but did they know it all, and did they make mistakes? I mean, or did they, and could they anticipate the future, problems that they could leave for humanity, or perhaps they were willing to take that risk and kind of subject people to problems in the future because of this. Because it's interesting, isn't it, how a lot of movie stars, actors and musicians have success. The ones that have very great success, they suffer, and they often die young, and they often have drug addictions, and they often suffer, breakdowns and psychosis and stuff like that. So is this the demonic influence? Many of them say they sold their souls. Depending on what religious stance they come from, they say they sold their souls to the devil. Many of the musicians, like a lot of these rappers and stuff, they've said the same thing, and then some of them are had to pray to Jesus and get Jesus to defend them because they're terrified. Could this be that when Crowley passed over, and Parsons and all of that, that the demon took reign again and said, well, I'm gonna be in charge now. You gave me this link into this world. You milk my energy against my free will. So now I'm going to seek revenge. I have a pathway into this world now, and through your magical working, Hollywood, and so I'm going to use that. You milk energy from me. I'm going to take it back into myself, and I'm going to use anybody involved in that's following that magical working for success, knowingly or unknowingly. I'm going to use their energy, and it's going to feed it back to me, and I will do that in the form of suffering, death. That's how I'm going to harvest this energy, and also confusing people, destroying the human race. Because what comes to mind is, why was it that so many of these actors got Trump derangement syndrome? Why is it that they hated him so much? Why was it that they were involved and concerned about politics in the first place? I mean, were they paid? Even if they were, why are they so interested? They got plenty of money. They seem to have the same, not all of them, but the ones that were involved, they seem to have the same mindset as these bloody politicians. And another one is a lot of this transgender stuff. They, the artists, these musicians, they seem to be promoting it, and is that the demon kind of running amok on them? Because I will have to study perhaps early Hollywood and the lifestyles from maybe the 1940s and 50s and even 60s, I don't know, to see how people fared. And then when Crowley passed, did things get bad? Is that when things got bad? When that demon took over. So people unknowingly, perhaps within Hollywood, are being milked by it. They always often come to an early death. It's very difficult for them to use that magical working now and not get hurt, because it's being fed back to the demon. And maybe on the other, when they pass over, like Crowley did, maybe they're going to have confrontation with it. This is just like, it's really interesting about natural law. Because right and wrong can be seen as a personal perspective. Right and wrong is depend what side of the fence you're on. And so we have predators in the animal world, and these things perhaps feel that they have been abused as well. They've had their own alien abductions, like these people doing these magical workings, grabbing these demons and using them. Humans are aliens to them. So I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here and kind of switching things round, kind of like when I did the fairy veneration, and how people in culture stop doing that, and they misunderstand those beings, and then these beings can get hostile to them because they're misunderstanding them, and they're feeling frustrated, and they feel they need to get energy in negative ways. But yeah, have you ever thought of the flip side of people summoning these beings, and then they are the ones that have been abducted, abused, and thrown to the side, and now they're going to seek revenge? It could explain a lot of possessions and attachments just in general around the population. It's like a private war that could have been declared by these beings. Like Thomas Sheridan. If Thomas Sheridan is suggesting that the same thing, space, if these beings are inhabiting space, but not the physical way that, you know, lots of people would think. You know, we can't kind of detect them normally, but if they're there and that's their kind of plane, and we're firing rockets and all this stuff outside and we're trying to explore, they took that as a hostile invasion, and then they punished us back with, you know, the Rona and the Needlecraft. Well, what if when these people, the likes of Crowley and Hubbard and others in the past, John Dee perhaps, started doing these magical workings and capturing these demons and using them as energy forces, that those beings said, right, it's war against humanity now. They made the first move, perhaps. They made the first move, so we have the right to defend ourselves and seek revenge. And defence to them could mean trying to dominate us so that we never get the upper hand, and always trying to confuse us and always trying to mislead us. And it could have gone on for you know, thousands of years, but perhaps with I don't know, the likes of is it John Dee and Crowley and Parson, as great as they were, they could have kind of invoked the wrath of them. I'm not saying it's true, I'm not saying it isn't, but I mean it's a strong possibility, I think. Yeah, so that's one of my videos for now. I'll leave it at that, and then I'll get back to you for another one. Okay, cheers, bye.